धारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा माँ जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र श्री राधे जय निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपदा। So we'll start with prayers. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can somebody confirm my voice is coming clearly, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, anybody online can confirm? Okay. So we'll start with prayers. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतात्पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं पितं त्वं सजीवम् साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I will share the screen so that devotees can see the words. Okay. So today I am asked to speak on third canto, chapter 30 and verse number 11. Okay. So I read the verse and then we'll read the translation. Vartayam lupyamanayam arabdhayam punha punha lobhabhibhuto निहसत्वा पराथे कुरुते स्पृहाम् वार्तायां लुप्यमानायाम् आराधयाभायं पुनः पुनः लोभाभिभूतो निःसत्त्वा पराथे कुरुते स्पृहाम्. So I'll read word to word meaning. Vartayam, when his occupation, Lupyamanayam, is hampered. Arabdhyam, undertaken. Punha punha, again and again. Lobha, by greed. Abhibhuta, overwhelmed. Nihasattva, ruined. Para arthe, for the wealth of others. Kurute spriham, he longs. So now a translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Sharanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: when he suffers reverses in his occupation, he tries again and again to improve himself, but he is baffled in all attempts and is ruined. He accepts money from others because of excessive greed. So now we will go to verse number 3.30.12. Kutumba bharana kalpo mandabhagyo vrithodhyama Shriya vihina kripanno dhyayan chvasiti mudhati. Kutumba, his family. Bharana, in maintaining. Akalpa, unable. Mandabhagya, the unfortunate man. Vritha, in vain. Udyama, whose efforts. Shriya, beauty, wealth. Vihina, bereft of. Kripana, wretched. Dhyayana, grieving. Swasiti, he sighs. Mudha, bewildered. He is intelligence. Thus, the unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of all beauty. He always thinks of his failure, grieving very deeply. And now, finally, 3.30.13. Evam sobharana kalpam tat kalatradayasthatha nadriyante yatha purvam kinasha iva gojaram. Evam, thus, sobharana, to maintain them. Akalpam, unable. Tat, his. Kalatra, wife. Adya, and so on. Tatha, so. None, not. Adriyante, do respect. Yatha, as. Purvam, before. Kinasha, farmers. Eva, like. Gocharam, an old ox. Translation: seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with the same respect as before, even as miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn out oxen. Purport: not only in the present age, but from the time immemorial, no one has liked an old man who is unable to earn in the family. Even in the modern age, in some communities or states, the old men are given poison so that they will die soon as possible. In some cannibalistic communities, the old grandfather is sportingly killed and a feast is held in which his body is eaten. The example is given that a farmer does not like an old bull who has ceased to work. Similarly, when an attached person in family life becomes old and is unable to earn, he is no longer liked by his wife, sons, daughters, and other kinsmen, and he is consequently neglected. What to speak of not being given respect? It is judicious, therefore, to give up family attachment before one attains old age and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should employ himself in the Lord's service so that the Supreme Lord can take charge of him and he will not be neglected by his so called kinsmen. Okay, so I'll stop sharing. So, this is a very beautiful verse. It is clearly exposing the nature of this material world. Yes. So, as I went through these three verses, one of the best suiting example which currently comes to my mind is the example of Avanti Brahman. Yes, because these three verses which we read perfectly suits the life of Avanti Brahman, which Krishna tells to Uddhav in the 11th canto. Yes, so we all know the pastimes of Avanti Brahman, that how Avanti Brahman was a very rich person, but though he has a lot of property and wealth, but he was a very miserly person. You know? And whatever he had, he was never satisfied. He will try to accumulate more and more and more, but he will never spend. He was so miserly. He was just happy, just accumulating more and more and more, and seeing his bank balance increasing. Yes. And his wife, his children, his relatives, they were fed up with him. They were not satisfied by his wealth, because the wealth which doesn't give sense gratification is considered of no use. Yes, and they were always having a bad temperament towards him. And thus, finally, when his old age came, at that time, he somehow started losing his money. And Krishna tells to Uddhav that how gradually his pious activities starts reducing, because we get automatic wealth in this world when our piety is filled, when our piety is shining. At that time, the good fortune allows the inflow of wealth and good fortune in our life. But Avanti Brahman, who had collected lot of piety, but currently his activities were completely against the dharma. He was neither spending it in the charity. He was neither spending it for the welfare of his own family members. He was trying to, by hook or crook, just acquire some land or some money. Yes. So gradually his piety started shrinking, and a time came when his piety was almost over. At that time, the time factor is so powerful. The time factor is so powerful that in no matter in whatever situation we are, when the right time comes, immediately the time factor changes the whole situation. It arranges the material nature in such a way to give us the required pain and pleasure as per our previous karma. The same thing happened with the Avanti Brahman. Yes, and some of his wealth got looted by the thieves. Some of his wealth was somehow acquired by his relatives, and he gradually started losing everything. And at that time, his bad time really came, and his family members practically started hating him. They started ridiculing him. They practically throw him out of the house. The people started spitting on him. He was in a very, very pathetic condition, being not respected by others. At that time, Avanti Brahman, by the mercy of the Lord, got the self-realization, and he came to the conclusion where beautiful prayers, beautiful realization started erupting in his mind, where he started thinking that, first of all, he acknowledged that this problem in which I am, it is not because of my relative, because of the sons, because of the thieves. He said that I cannot blame anybody. All this problem is because of my own mind, my own mind, which is tainted with lust, greed. This is this is what is propelling me into these difficult times. And then he started taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. and he started condemning that his shelter in the money, in the wealth, etc. And he took very strong shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, to such an extent that he became completely renounced from this world and fully dedicated himself in the service of the Supreme Lord. And his prayers are so glorious that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, you know, in and from the sannyas, when he started just running towards Vrindavan, yes, he started remembering the prayers of Avanti Brahman. In his mind, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was murmuring the prayers of Avanti Brahman, and he was taking inspiration from the prayers of Avanti Brahman. That just like Avanti Brahman, when he when uh, when he was discarded by his family members, how he took shelter of the Supreme Lord. He stopped depending on others in this world. He stopped the false shelter of wealth, money, family, etc. And he completely became fearless. And in that fearless, he was independent. To just and his only companion was Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also thought, now I have taken sannyas. Now let all my senses, all my mind, body, speech be fully dedicated to the Supreme Lord. And he start in that consciousness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started running towards Vrindavan. Yes. So this is a beautiful. So we see this verses, this series of three verses, how beautifully it fits in the life of Avanti Brahman, where and the same instance also happened in the life of Dhritarashtra. So we see in the first canto that how when Mahatma Vidur, who had been who was discarded by evil Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, and who took the pilgrimage of all over India, he became purified, he became enlightened with knowledge, and when he returned back to Hastinapur, he came to know the plight of the entire Kuru ones, how the Kuru ones were practically destroyed. All the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra had been killed. So many of his own blood relatives had been killed in the war. And finally, when he went to Dhritarashtra, and he saw that Dhritarashtra is still attached. Dhritarashtra is still the he wanted to kill Bhima. He wanted to destroy the Pandavas. And taking shelter of them, he is now living in the palace comfortably. Vidurji thought ki enough is enough. This time, he just wanted to make an spiritual blast, practically spiritual blast. He thought that this Dhritarashtra, very lovingly and in a very friendly way for the whole life, I instructed him in wisdom, but it never went into his head. And he has come to this plight where due to his own greed, due to his own proprietorship of the kingdom, he has practically destroyed the entire Kuru dynasty. Now enough is enough. Now this Dhritarashtra really needs a heavy dose, a heavy installment of spiritual knowledge. And then Vidurji in very, very strong words, so it is said that one of the duty that Srila Prabhupada used to say that sadhu means to cut, who cut through the heart knots, the heart knot of attachment, the heart knot of greed, lust. The sadhu cuts by his strong words of enlightenment, his strong words which is illuminating with spiritual knowledge. Yes. Similarly, Vidurji, who had been so much purified, and he had the authority to speak such knowledge. He spoke very strongly. He told Dhritarashtra, he practically condemned Dhritarashtra as an animal. Just like he told, you wanted to kill them, you listed Bhima, etc. Now you are surviving on their earning. How pity of you. And then immediately Vidurji instructed him, if you have little bit sanity left in your mind, if you have little bit shame left in your mind, if you have little bit common sense left in your mind, immediately leave for the forest. Enough is enough. Now the time has come. Take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Whole life you took shelter in your own family members, in your own kingdom. Now the time has come to leave all this thing away. Before the time factor consumes you, you know, before the people of this world starts disrespecting you, you know, you immediately leave, you know, and become independent. Become, because the soul is independent, you know. Don't become encaged within this body which is filled with six anarthas, filled with demands, you know. And immediately Vidurji instructed, and Dhritarashtra, even before informing Yudhishthira Maharaj, Dhritarashtra didn't inform Yudhishthira Maharaj also. Immediately, with his wife Gandhari, he left for into the forest and took shelter of the Supreme Lord. And we know that how in the end he attained the perfection. Yes. So this is the another beautiful story of Dhritarashtra and Vidurji, where Vidurji inspired him. So we see this principle being repeated again and again in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. And that's why Srila Prabhupada also very vehemently, I'm not able to recall the exact verse, you know, in one of the purport, he very strongly writes that every householder should have a goal to take vanaprastha, or this, of course these are just a technical terms for different ashram, but every householder, you know, must have a goal, that must have a plan to, in the end, you know, to wipe up, you know, all the material engagement and to completely surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate shelter. Srila Prabhupada writes ki nobody in this world, you know, and no householder in this world till the end should simply be engaged in, you know, just accumulating wealth, you know, just be engaged in the family affairs, etc. There's a particular phase for it. You know? Krishna has very scientifically made the progression of the ashram, that how first one is trained in the spiritual knowledge of brahmachari ashram, and then a particular time comes of grihasthashram where a person gets married, he engages his senses into earning, you know, taking care of his children, etc., and at the same time, of course, continuing his spiritual uh, realization, etc. But Srila Prabhupada says that at a particular time, you know, when the family responsibilities are over, you know, every householder must have that strong goal, or you can say ambition, you know, to one day fully dedicate ourselves in the Supreme Personality. Of course, we have to do it now also, you know, as with the family, we have to keep on serving Krishna, but every householder must have that goal to fully dedicate himself in the Supreme Personality, must have a plan, must have a blueprint in the mind that yes, I am going to do that. Yes, before. Otherwise, you know, as Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, nobody likes an old man. You know, as a because this world revolves around enjoying mentality. You know, means even the love in this world exists because you give me something, I give you something. So this world's relationship, in a very shastric technical word, it is just a give and take relationship. You know, because you give me something, I also give you something. You know, means Srila Prabhupada quote that even in the attraction between boy and girl, because both are getting some kind of enjoyment, some kind of sense gratification from each other, and that's why that relationship continues. But in this world, as soon as the sense gratification stops, you know, we start judging other person. You know, the other person becomes of no use to us, as Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. You know, and that's why an old man, you know, who the before that he was a young person, he had a healthy body, he was earning, he was collecting wealth for his wife and children, and everybody appreciates him. Very nice, very nice. You know, how nice my father is, how nice my husband is. But as soon as his bad time comes, when his senses start dwindling, his body starts becoming weak, you know, he becomes useless, and he now just become a dependent on his wife and children. You know, now he needs care. He just becomes a burden. At that time also, we see sometimes keep serving him because he has some property in his name, and they are fearful that if we serve him properly, maybe he will write this property in my name, etc. You know, and that's why they keep serving. But as soon as they come to know, oh, this person doesn't have any property, or he has already transferred the property in my name, or he is not going to transfer property in my name, you know, people started feeling burden. Oh, this old man coughing all day. You know, he's just lying on the bed crying. So much of money is invested in his disease, etc. You know, and people started, you know, So we know that in this world we always want a person, who can give us something, who is productive. As soon as a person becomes unproductive, we, generally, of course, out of some morality, or out of some piety, or out of some kind of good conduct, sometimes people tolerate also. Okay, okay, he is my father anyway, I have to take care of him, etc. So we know all these dynamics. But Srila Prabhupada says that he has, but for a person who, while being in the household life, along with all his house affairs, he develops spiritual consciousness, he evolves his consciousness. He day by day he keep coming closer to Srimad Bhagavatam, holy names and Krishna. For him, the case is very different. For him, though his body is dwindling, but his soul is getting more and more blossomed. His soul is more, and as he passes age of 25, 30, 35, 40, he radiates more with spiritual knowledge. And when his old age comes, though his body has dwindled, but his mind is very strong, his soul is very strong, being fixed on Supreme Lord. He becomes more productive. And like in our ISKCON society, we see old is gold. Sometimes we say that those who have become old, their association is more sought. We seek association of those who have spent more time in Krishna consciousness, because we want to get benefited from their association, from their spiritual realization over the years, from their sastric studies, from whatever gems of realizations, or reciprocation with the Lord they have collected throughout their life. We just want to be a recipient of that, and that's why we see that in ISKCON, or in our spiritual community, those who have spent their time properly, as they become old, they're even more respected. Even without their asking, we see that so many people are there to serve them. There are so many people to take care of them. And of course, that is a material side of it. But the important thing is that he becomes very valuable. He is no longer seen as a burden. Rather, he is seen as a great blessings in the society, because he has done like that. So Srila Prabhupada recommend this is the path. He, as we become old, though, we should become more and more close to Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that way, the time factor will not affect us, and the byproduct of that time factor will also not affect us. Like that, we become Indian. And of course, I was also remembering one of the prayers of Jada Bharat. So Jada Bharat, while he was talking to Rahu Gana, so Jada Bharat, in his conversation with Rahu Gana, was comparing this material world like a forest, the forest of material enjoyment, where a person, he has set out in this forest, to acquire more and more wealth, etc. But Jada Bharat compare that while he's entering into this forest of material enjoyment, there are a lot of plunderers, there are a lot of jackals, wolf, wild animals who are waiting to just destroy him. They are thieves who are coming to just take away the wealth from him. There are bees and insects who are ready to bite him, etc. And all those things. And when I read this section, I was very surprised that Jada Bharat, one of the people who are thieves, or who are plunderers, who want to take away the wealth, Jada Bharat compared them to the relatives and family members. And I was very surprised. When I was new in Krishna consciousness, I thought, why he is comparing the relatives, and the family members to be like plunderers in this forest of material enjoyment? Come on, they are our well-wisher, they are our supporter. But the harsh reality is this only, that our relatives, the people around us loves us till the time we are of some use, or some source of sense gratification for them. As soon as we lose that potency to provide them sense gratification, immediately we become a burden for them. Immediately, their attitude towards us completely changes. But so, although it may look very harsh to hear that how Jada Bharat is comparing and the relatives and family members to plunderers and thieves and all those things in this journey of material existence. But of course, shastras are shastras. Though they may speak very hard words, but they are truth in some way or other. And we see that I was also remembering one of the verses by Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj says one very amazing thing about the wealth in this world. So, as we see that in the pastimes of Avanti Brahman, that how he was just collecting the wealth, but he was not spending it. He was miser. Prahlad Maharaj says the wealth in this world, it when it comes, so though a person may not spend it, though that wealth may not be required. Suppose a person can simply be satisfied with little money, and he may be satisfied with few chapatis. But the nature of wealth is that it drives a person to collect more and more and more. And what he will do with that, the person himself doesn't know. Okay, I have collected 1 crore, 2 crore, 10 crore, 100 crore. Now, what I will do with this wealth? What is the use of that wealth? That a person, but a person is ready to devote his entire life, his entire time and energy to simply build up. 1 crore, 2 crore, oh, 10 crore, very happy. 10 to 100 crore, oh, I am so happy. But he will eat same chapati sabji. Maybe in the chapati he can add some ghee. Maybe in between the chapati he can stuff some paneer. But he cannot eat golden chapati. He cannot eat silver parathas, etc. The chapatis will be made with the wheat flour only, and which comes in a very nominal price. So Prahlad Maharaj says this amazing property of wealth, that when the wealth comes, a person is simply excited. Okay, it is increasing. How much I need in my whole life? Will I be able to spend it or not? Is this wealth of any use to me? How is it helping in my spiritual journey? That a person becomes completely blind. The only here, his mind and intelligence becomes completely fixed in simply collecting more and more and more. That's the nature of wealth. And as soon as the wealth comes, so it is said in the Avanti Brahman, in one of his prayers, he says that when the wealth comes, it comes with many of the side effects. Yes. So I would like to read some of the side effects from the. So this is from the 11th canto, 23rd chapter, the song of the Avanti Brahman. Yeah. So Avanti Brahman names that as soon as the money comes, so these are the byproducts which comes. Great. First of all, it requires great effort, fear, anxiety, and confusion. And then he says 15 unwanted items which comes as a byproduct of the wealth: thievery, violence, lying, deception, lust, anger, pride, feverishness, disagreement, hatred, distrust, conflict, attachment to women, gambling, intoxication. Yes. So this is a beautiful realization of Avanti Brahman, because he himself has undergone that process. Maybe for some of us here, it may be theoretical, but for Avanti Brahman, who has actually gone through that hardcore pursuit of money, he is speaking from his heart, from his realization that as soon as money comes, we are surrounded by fear, we are surrounded by anxiety, immediately some desire of sense enjoyment will come, which we have never done before, because now money has come. I have a lot of facility to purchase the tools of material enjoyment, so immediately that lust is aggravated more and more, and a person want to enjoy in variety of ways, and then he becomes fearful, somebody will take away my money, and then his family members also starts scounding on him. Now you have a lot of money, please provide us more and more comfort, and then conflicts start coming, and then when it is the final days to divide the money, the son starts fighting, and all these things happen. Sometimes being attracted by a person's wealth, some women may get attracted to the person, and he may just indulge into illicit relationship, and all these things start coming as a byproduct of lot and lot of money. Yes, and that's why we see in the songs of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that how he's he condemns all these things. Like in one of his song, I remember that he says, "Edhana yovana putra parijana ethe ki ache parati tire." He says that you are so much relying, you are so much relishing this dhan, yavan, putra, parijan. That, oh, I'm surrounded by so many people, I have so much of wealth, I have so much of bank balance, I'm so strong, I am yavan. But all these things are just like he compared that Kamala Dala Jala Jeevan Tala Mala, Kamala Dala Jala Jeevan Tala Mala, Bhajahu Bhari Pada Niti Re. These are like just like the drops on the lotus leaf. At any time it will slip away. Just like if you see a drop on the lotus leaf, you are seeing it now. You are seeing it now. Next moment it will be just slipped away. It's no more. Yes. The same thing, can a time factor is very powerful. The most healthy person can just become bedridden. The most wealthy person, he can just become beggar. So that's the power of time, and that's why our acharyas, they always pray to Krishna, to just protect themselves. They express their desire that not to put their shelter in all these false things of this world, and to always keep our compass on our real well-wisher Krishna, or a spiritual master, or the reading of the Bhagavatam on the holy names. So this is the prayer of every acharya, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur in many of his songs. Like I'm able to remember one more song like Bhuliya Tumhare Samsare Asiya. So where Bhakti Vinod Thakur tells his journey. Of course, he's so humble to tell his journey, but he's a Paramhamsa. He's a Mahabhagavat. But through his example, he's telling the journey of we people, the normal conditioned soul. That how when we take birth in this world, we promise to Krishna in the womb that Krishna, when I come out of the womb, I will practice Krishna consciousness. But as soon as we come, immediately, so many people are coaxing us, so much of hue and cry is there for sense enjoyment, and then I completely gets lost. I accumulate a lot of knowledge, and then I'm just getting proud of that knowledge, and then I'm moving here and then collecting more and more wealth, and I'm just considering myself as a swami, because I have some people under me, because I have some bank balance under me, I have little bit control under me, and buliya tumhare, and just forget you. That's all. And that's why even Kunti Maharani in her beautiful prayers. So Srila Prabhupada really liked Kunti Maharani prayers, where she really says that Janm Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir Eda Man Mada Puman Nev Arhati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gochanam. That, oh Krishna, those who are accelerating in this world, who are having a lot of pomp and show of Janma, high birth. Oh, I belong to such a big empire of family. I belong to Tata, Birla, or whatever, and this is my entire family dynasty. Ashwarya, those who are too much bogged up by a lot of wealth. Oh, I have wealth. I can spend like king size. I can have anything in my hand. Everything is in my the whole world is in my pocket. Such a people, and then Shruta and Srived who are too much being proud of their huge intelligence or knowledge. They can, they can crack any examination. They have so much of knowledge. They can philosophize anything. And some people were too much bogged by the beauty. Because they are very handsome, they have such a stunning body. Wherever they go, people want to take selfie with them. People want all the cameras on them. Such people can never. Eda man mata puman. It makes a person mada. Mada means intoxicated. Just like an intoxicated person is there. He's completely lost in himself. He has drunk wine, and he is just he's just unaware of the reality of this world. He is unaware of reality of himself. You know? He gets into another world. Similarly, a very high wealth, a very high beauty, education, janma, it makes a person intoxicated. He start riding in the whirlpool of these four things, and he completely get lost from the reality of this world. That this world is temporary. You know, my death is approaching. You know, everything will be finished. You know? This all these things are super. He just forgets that he's just riding in the fast train, you know, and he's simply enjoying, oh, so much of wealth, so much of janma, so much of sutta, shribir, you know. And when what happens to such a person, they can never call your holy names, oh Lord, feelingly. Such a person, you know, who is hyperactive with such thing, you know, God not needed. You know? I'm so happy. You know? Why do I need God in my life? You know? And even if he is religious, you know, his uttering of the holy name is very superficial, very superficial. You know? And that's why Srila Prabhupada says he cannot chant the holy names like Hey Govinda, Hey Krishna with sincere feeling. And then in the next verse, Kunti Maharani says, Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivritta Guna Vrittahe Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kavalya Pataye Namaha. He says, Namo Akinchana Vittaya. You are known as Akinchana Vittaya. You are the master of those, you know, who are materially impoverished. You know? Means of course, that doesn't mean that we have to be physically without wealth, but who in their heart are not valuing, you know, just accumulating a lot of wealth, because their diamond and their ruby is the holy names of Krishna. You know? Such a person can only take shelter of you. That's why you are Namo Akinchana Vittaya. Akinchan means, you know, those who don't find shelter into these things, you know, Jan, Ashwarya, Shruta, and Shrivit. Rather, they find shelter. Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kavalya Pataye Namaha. And that's why you are the Pati. Kavalya Pati. Kavalya Pati ka matlab, those who have completely, whose only shelter is in lotus feet of Krishna, you know, whose only taste is the honey dripping from the lotus feet of Krishna. You know, and such a and you are the pati of such people, and you are the master of such people. You know, and then in the purport of these verses are so beautiful, and that's why Kunti Maharani, you know, she is praying for difficulties because she is saying that in good times, you know, I will become very excited and I may forget you. You know, means I may very excited. Oh, so much of wealth is coming. Oh, my prestige is increasing. You know, I may forget you, Krishna. You know? And that's why she asked for a very difficult prayer, which I it goes above our head. So when I remember when I read this prayer that Kunti Maharani is asking for difficulty to continue so that she can keep taking shelter, it just went above my head. You know? Means I was not able to comprehend what does it mean asking for difficulty. It's too much to digest that some devotee is asking for difficulty in the life so that she can keep taking shelter of. Of course, we don't have to ask for difficulty, but of course we should always pray to Krishna to protect us, you know, from this dependency on dhan, yavan, putra, parijan, you know, our dependency on them. That for sense gratification, you know, our relationship with our family member should be that of affection. You know? We should be affectionate towards them. We should take care of them because Krishna has put them under our care. You know? So as a duty, you know, as a service to Krishna in this world, we take care of them. But to extract sense gratification from them or to expect that you know, I can give them sense gratification. You know? So that is wrong, you know? Because at that time we become entangled, we become dependent on sense gratification, and if the sense gratification stops, we become angry on them. You know? Our relationship becomes spoiled, yes? And that's why we see even in the life of Srila Prabhupada that how Srila Prabhupada, you know, when he got instruction from his spiritual master to preach all over the world. So one of the things with Srila Prabhupada immediately shifted from Calcutta to Allahabad, where he wanted to establish a business, so that his family is taken care and he can have sufficient wealth to preach all over the world, etc. So Srila Prabhupada had some kind of blueprint in his mind. This is the way I will preach in this world, all over the world. And he had some plan in his mind, and that's why he was trying to set up some business, and but that business started failing. It started dwindling. Srila Prabhupada made one more try, and that also failed. And a particular time came when one of the factory, one of the business unit of Srila Prabhupada was put on fire. And then his wife is also not cooperating with him. And his family members are not in synchronization of him in his mission to preach all over the world. At that time, Srila Prabhupada simply laughed. And Srila Prabhupada simply said that this is Krishna's mercy. Harishya, Srila Prabhupada immediately remembered that words. Harishya tad dhanam shanay. That Krishna, when he becomes very merciful on somebody. So if Krishna is just superficially happy with us, he will simply fulfill our desire. Okay, this person wants some wealth. Okay, just give him land. Just let him just pass his time in this material world. Oh, this person is too much excited about this success. Okay, done. But Srila Prabhupada writes that, and Srila Prabhupada's personal realization, when Krishna is really very happy with some person, when Krishna really acknowledges somebody as his own man, when Krishna really want to take somebody to more and more closer to his heart, he immediately, one of the mercy of Krishna, of course not always, but one of the mercy of Krishna on some of his devotees is that he immediately make them bereft of Janm Aishwarya Shruta Sribhi. Because Krishna sees that he want to come close to me, but this Janm Aishwarya Shruta and Sribhi has too much caught up his mind. He is becoming too much involved with Janm Aishwarya Shruta Sribhi, and these are obstacles. Just so Krishna just take it away. Where then a devotee doesn't have any other shelter left. Then to just cry for Krishna. Krishna, I had nothing to take shelter of. I was taking shelter of money. That money has gone away. I was taking too much shelter of my own relatives and family members. They have also discarded me. Now I was taking shelter of the prestige in the society. The society no longer respect me. What to do? You are now my only shelter. And then such a devotee takes shelter of Krishna. And that's why we find in the life of so many acharyas that how our even Narottam Das Thakur and many of our acharyas who were born in a very aristocratic family, yes, but Narottam Das Thakur, how even Raghunath Das Goswami was born in a family, yes, which has even more riches than Indra. He was surrounded with very beautiful wife, etc. But our acharyas, they showed by their example that how they didn't try to involve into that, because their goal was completely clear, to attain the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how Raghunath Das Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, there are numerous examples like this. Rup and Sanatan Goswami, the Rup and Sanatan, they were prime minister and finance minister of the king of Bengal. So much of riches. They had their own palace. They were like a self-made kinsman, like that. But they just left all this thing just to taste the holy names of Krishna, just to taste the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They left all these things, and that's why Srinivas Acharya writes in his song, Mandalapati. They were Mandalapati, but the Mandalapati is just wearing a kopin and roaming in the forest of Vrindavan, crying for Krishna, tasting the love of Godhead. So our acharyas have shown. So, but Srila Prabhupada also cautions us that all these things doesn't mean to physically leave the wealth or something. Just a physical detachment is not enough. That's very superficial. Srila Prabhupada says, what does it mean to become a kinchana vittaya? What does it mean to become free from this intoxication of Janmeshwar Shruta Sribhi? Is not just a physical distancing from them. Because even if you make a physical distancing from money, wealth, etc., but our heart is not dwelling into Krishna consciousness, that is of no use. Because sometimes, even if the sense gratification object is away from us, but it is there in our mind. Sometimes a person may within the mind only enjoy that, within the mind only keep craving for those objects. So just a physical distancing is not useful. The only thing which is useful is to take more and more shelter of Krishna, because the nature of Krishna consciousness is that it gives such a higher taste. The nature of Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna's holy name is that. So the action plan should be to take more and more shelter of Krishna. That's the action plan. To take to go more near to devotee association, to more and more taste the nectar of Bhagavatam. Because when we taste that, we will automatically come to that realization that there's that we will lose the taste for Jan Aishwarya Shruta Shabir. It will be there with us, but we will simply use them for Krishna consciousness or for the welfare of our own family members. We will have a right guidelines to use them properly without getting entangled from them, even if we have it. And even if we don't have it, we will not crave for it. Like Srila Prabhupada writes, just like a fever, somebody's fever has gone down, he doesn't crave for more fever. So Srila Prabhupada writes, if somebody doesn't have Janmashwara Shruta Sivit, they should not be too much of worried. Why Krishna has not given me Janmashwara Shruta Sivit? Because they are already on a safe zone. This is Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purport, and that's why Srila Prabhupada writes that the action plan should be to dive deeper and deeper into Krishna consciousness, which will automatically protect. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He gives the example of Parikshit Maharaj. He gives the example of numerous kings also. So at one time, Srila Prabhupada gave example of those who completely left their wealth, because they only found the value in Krishna's lotus feet. But Srila Prabhupada also gives example of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He gives example of many kings, the Raj Rishis, who were Raja, who had lot of control, like Ambarish Maharaj, who had lot of control, who had lot of wealth, who had beautiful wives surrounding them, but they were also akinchana vittaya, because they didn't take that wealth, wife, etc. to be the source of sense gratification. Rather, it took it as an instrument of engaging in Krishna consciousness, in helping more and more people getting connected to Krishna. This is how they did. And the most vital point which Srila Prabhupada tells in all their lives was sadhu sangha, because they were in very strong sadhu sangha. And when we are in very strong sadhu sangha, our compass is well directed and all. So yeah. So with this, I would like to. So as we are already approaching the time, so with this we would like to end here with the prayer to Krishna, with the prayer to the spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada, that may Srila Prabhupada protect us, because Srila Prabhupada writes that attraction to wealth and all these things, it's very common. Means if somebody says that I don't have attraction, that's uncommon. It's very common. So Srila Prabhupada says that means we should always pray to, even Srila Prabhupada used to pray to Krishna. Once Srila Prabhupada's disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada, what you pray to Krishna? Then Srila Prabhupada says that I pray to Radha Rani to always protect me in this world, because anybody, even a man of greatest intelligence, may get diluted by the attraction to worldly things. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, here we end.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have a question. Can I say?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Like Prabhu, in the class, as you were saying about the most beautiful.
Hare Krishna. Your voice is not coming through.
And most also the Like, but these are all because of their last pious deeds, na Prabhuji. They get these births, like they get beautiful, they are rich and everything. So where at the fault they are for that? I
Yeah.
hope you understand my question.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. So yes, they are not at fault. You know? They are not at fault. Whatever they have got, they have got. But the fault comes when we want to expand it without any use, more and more. You know? And that expansion consumes our energy in Krishna consciousness. That is wrong. Whatever we have got, we have got. Whatever we didn't get, we didn't get. That is by our past karma. Yes, but uh, where our energy is flowing, that is important. So its fault is not with object which we have got. We have got. But our energy is flowing where? Oh, I have got 1 crore, now I will make it 10 crore. And of course, there's anything wrong in making 1 to 10 crore. That is, there's nothing wrong into it, but it depends on intention. That whether it is consuming our energy in Krishna consciousness. Somebody like we have many examples of devotees who are CEO of the company. They are also expanding 1 crore to 2 to 5 crore, 5 to 10 crore. But they are also very fit in Krishna consciousness. They are also advancing in Krishna consciousness. So they are able to do that without getting attached, without getting dragged there. So it's fine for them. So problem is not with money. I'm saying the problem is not even expansion of money. The problem is in losing Krishna consciousness because of that. The problem is in getting pride because of that.
So how is it possible to be parallelly materially strong and even devotionally, Prabhu? Like, is it possible?
Means that's why in the end of the chapter I gave the example of Yudhishthira Maharaj and all these things. So I will say that the only solution is a very strong sadhu sangha and a regular hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam as much as possible. These two things, very strong. So the more wealth one has, the more one needs sadhu sangha. Like the previous kings who were there, like we gave that, they all had a kul guru. They had a very strong guidance of direct guidance of a very pure personality. Like even Dasarath Maharaj, he had Vasishtha Muni, uh, as uh, as his kul guru. Similarly, similarly, every Raja Rishi used to have a set of Brahmanas. He was surrounded by them, who were always keeping his head cool, who is always keeping his head in a right direction. So more wealth we have, the more close devotee association we need. The more hearing of Bhagavatam we need. Like Janak Maharaj, it is said about Janak Maharaj, no matter what happens, he will never miss a single Bhagavatam class. Every day for hours and hours, he will call Brahmanas in his kingdom and hear Bhagavatam from them. And that's how that Mada Puman, the head is intoxicated, and that's how the head remains cool, because of so much of sadhu sangha and Bhagavad, hearing Bhagavatam from.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. And Prabhuji, one more, like as you said, the affection should be there towards the family as is the responsibility. But does not the affection leads to attachment? Like, again, we show affection to the family. How do you balance this?
Yeah. So yes, Prabhu, affection will lead to it. So yes, see, Prabhu, we don't have to like see, oh, now I'm affectionate, now I'm becoming attached. If we work like that, we will become too much calculative, and too much of that. Yes, I mean, even if we are some bit attached, but again, the solution is sadhu sangha and Srimad Bhagavatam hearing, because that will. So sometimes the affection may change into little attachment, but the sadhu sangha will always pull us back. Sadhu sangha will always reminds us. So yes, there's nothing. Even Arjuna cried a lot when Abhimanyu died. So when Abhimanyu died, Arjuna was weeping just like any other materialistic person will do. He was breaking his head. Oh, Abhimanyu has died. Abhimanyu has died. But yes, because he had the association of directly Krishna, he had a very good spiritual knowledge in back of his mind. That again pulled him back. So we should not be always be, so with the family member we should live just as a natural, just like anybody lives with his own relatives, wife, children. We should love them, we should shower our affection towards them, you know. But the solution is to take so much of sadhu sangha, so much of bhagavatam, that as soon as we find that that relationship is going in other zone, that will automatically pull us back. So the action oriented program should not be in calculating, oh, affection, attachment. The action plan should be in increasing spiritual attachment, you know? And so that it will keep us balanced.
Yes, Prabhu. The more the spiritual attachment will be there, then we'll understand this. This is all temporary. The whatever the family relationships, whatever it is, but still,
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
No, we don't have to consider that temporary. It's like that. We should live with them properly. We should live with them like anybody else. But my question is that we should not make them as an instrument of sense gratification. You know? Like for example, suppose we are living with our family members, and then we start expecting from them they should give this to me, they should give that to, too much depending on them, etc. Till the time our relationship is based on Krishna consciousness, you know? Like that, you know. So till that time it is good. You know? So that's why I'm saying that action plans should not be in calculating that when the affection is going to attachment. Rather, the action plans should be in rooting ourselves in Krishna consciousness, you know? And that will protect us. That's all. But we should live naturally with them, like any other. Like externally, it should look. So that's a beautiful science of Krishna consciousness. Externally, a Krishna conscious person and other materialistic person looks the same. That both are loving their wife, both are having a good job, both are having, you know. So externally, the difference may look very small, but the main difference is in the heart. You know? One may be loving, one may be doing his job very dutifully, but he may not be that much. I will give you one example. Like for example, one devotee was sharing with me that at the 30th day of the month, that everybody in the company will be excited. Now salary is going to be accounted to the bank, and they are waiting. Oh, already it's 3 o'clock. Till now the salary has not come. When it will come? But a devotee was telling that he was free from all that. Means he was doing his work very sincerely, you know. But even on the salary day, he was peaceful doing his work. You know? Means he was not excited, like, because they have spent all the money of previous month, you know, in sense gratification. Now they want more money, but a devotee is free anyway. The money is going to come. You know? Why to? So externally both are doing the duty, you know, but we see that difference in consciousness.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.